Welcome to the 2023 Community Economic Development Focus on Energy Communities Notice of Funding Opportunity Pre-Application Presentation. This presentation provides prospective applicants of the Community Economic Development Program with details about the 2023 CED Focus on Energy Communities Grant Competition. Please note that we will be referring to the Community Economic Development Program as the CED program throughout this presentation. We will be referring to the Community Economic Development Focus on Energy Communities Award Competition as the CED EC Award Competition throughout this presentation. We will be referring to the Notice of Funding Opportunity as the NOFO. The CED EC Nofo is very similar to the CED Nofo, which is also currently available. The key difference is that some criteria in the CED EC Nofo differ from the CED Nofo in content and/or point values. Therefore, this presentation is an addendum to the CED Nofo pre-application presentation. This presentation will only provide an overview of the differences between this CED EC Nofo and the traditional CED Nofo. If you haven't already done so, please review the CED program Nofo pre-application presentation before reviewing this presentation, as it provides a more detailed overview of applicant eligibility, NOFO criteria, and the submission process, all of which are similar across the two opportunities. We will provide the link to that presentation in a few moments. The 2023 CED EC Nofo is now available on the Administration for Children and Families, or ACF, grants webpage. The Office of Community Services, also known as OCS, wants to bring to your attention some important details about the 2023 Energy Communities Grant Competition. Everything seen on this slide is the exact same as in the CED Nofo pre-application presentation, but it is very important, so we are bringing it to your attention in this presentation too. Each of these details are also discussed in Section 4, Application and Submission Information of the Nofo. ACF requires applications to be electronically submitted via grants.gov. The deadline for electronic application submission is 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the due date specified in the Nofo. The deadline for receipt of paper applications is 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on this date. Keep in mind that to submit a paper application, you must obtain a waiver in advance. Each applicant may only upload 2 electronic files, one for the project description and another for the appendices. All project application materials must be included in these 2 files. Additional files that are loaded into grants.gov as part of the project description or appendices, such as resumes and business plan site control, will be removed from the competitive review file and not reviewed by the panel. The exceptions to this are the standard forms and OMB approved forms, which will not be counted as additional files. Carefully note the file naming conventions required by www.grants.gov. Limit file names to 50 characters, including both characters and spaces. Adobe Acrobat is compatible for use with grants.gov. However, we recommend using the grants.gov compatible version of Adobe Reader software. Read the troubleshooting page on grants.gov for more information. Again, this presentation is to be used only as an addendum to the 2023 CED Nofo pre-application presentation, and will only cover aspects that differ for the energy community's funding opportunity. To ensure you are getting a holistic overview of the Nofo and application submission process, prior to viewing this presentation, view the 2023 CED Nofo pre-application presentation, which you can access at the link seen on this slide. That presentation will provide detailed information about eligible applicants, eligible and ineligible uses of CED funding, construction versus non-construction projects, real property requirements, post-award requirements, and how to accurately format and submit your CED application. It will also cover all Nofo criteria. This presentation is only going to provide a detailed overview of the Nofo criteria that differ in this EC funding opportunity. The CED EC Nofo is available at the URL listed on this slide. Again, if you are planning to apply for CED EC funds, be sure to review the CED Program Nofo Pre-Application Presentation, which provides a more detailed overview of the Nofo process and criteria before watching this presentation. The Focus on Energy Communities program has the same overarching purpose and strategies as the CED program, but with a focus on projects located in and serving energy communities. The objective of the CED EC program is to support businesses that develop new products, services, and commercial activities that result in the creation of new positions for individuals with low incomes, specifically in energy communities. The overall goal of this effort is to create good-paying jobs, spur economic revitalization, remediate environmental degradation, and support energy workers. CED EC projects are expected to further the Department of Health and Human Services goals of strengthening families and promoting self-sufficiency. The CED EC program is described in Section 1, Program Description of the Nofo. CED funds are flexible and can be used in many different ways to support the creation or expansion of businesses that ultimately result in the creation of new, permanent, full-time, full-year jobs. Please refer to the CED Nofo pre-application presentation to learn more about CED program eligibility and how CED funds can be used. An energy community is defined as a community that has experienced employment loss and/or economic dislocation events because of declines in the fossil fuel industry, and/or is disproportionately reliant on fossil fuel energy production or distribution, including coal, oil, gas, and power plant communities. As described in Section 1, Program Descriptions, the CED program is supporting efforts to empower workers by revitalizing energy communities aligned with President Biden's Executive Order 14008, tracking the climate crisis at home and abroad, and the Justice 40 initiative. Projects may include the creation or expansion of businesses that reduce emissions of toxic substances and greenhouse gases from existing and abandoned infrastructure, and that prevent environmental damage that harms communities and poses a risk to public health and safety. Projects may also employ individuals from energy communities but focus on a range of other industries. As noted in Section 2, Federal Award Information of the Nofo, for fiscal year 2023, there is $3.2 million available to fund energy communities projects. The maximum award level for individual energy communities projects this year is $800,000. The length of each project, also known as the project period, is 36 months for non-construction related projects and 48 months for construction-related projects. OCS anticipates funding approximately 4 energy communities projects for fiscal year 2023. We mentioned that there are some differences between the CED Nofo and the CED EC Nofo. These are related to either the language within certain review criteria, their associated point values, or both. Here is a summary of the differences. We will go into more detail on these differences in a moment. To summarize, the point values for some criteria are different between CED and CED EC. This is the case for need for assistance, objectives, business plan project implementation, business plan past performance, and some bonus points. For some criteria, there are also differences in the sub-criteria, for which reviewers will evaluate applications. This is the case for need for assistance, objectives, business plan project implementation, and some of the bonus points. We will go over these criteria in detail in a moment. Note also that while CED contains a criterion for project integration, CED EC does not. The number and point value for bonus point opportunities differs between the CED and CED EC Nofos. Now we will walk through the 4 criteria for which the content is different from the CED Nofo to meet the needs of energy communities. Again, they are need for assistance, objectives, business plan project implementation, and bonus points. The biggest difference when it comes to the content of these criteria is that the CED EC Nofo specifies serving an energy community instead of a local community. As we walk through these 4 criteria, the changes in content and language will be bolded on the slides. Need for assistance is the first criterion that is different in the CED EC Nofo. In this Nofo, it is worth 5 rather than 2 points. The need for assistance, including the nature and scope of the problem, must be demonstrated, including clearly identifying the physical, economic, social, financial, institutional, and/or other problems requiring a solution. This criterion is similar to the need for assistance criterion in the CED Nofo, but with a focus on need specifically in energy communities. The differences are bolded on this slide. In reviewing the need for assistance section, reviewers will consider the extent to which the application establishes a clear need for the project in an energy community, as outlined in the relevant subsections under Section 4.2 of the Nofo. Specifically, as noted under Section 5, Application Review Information of the Nofo, reviewers will consider the extent to which the application demonstrates that the project is needed to support economic recovery in a community that has either experienced employment loss and/or economic dislocation events as a result of declines in the fossil fuel industry production or distribution, including coal, oil, gas, and power plant communities. This subcriterion is unique to the CED EC Nofo. The project is needed to create or expand participating businesses in an energy community. Like with the CED Nofo, the project is needed to create or expand businesses, but in this case, the need is specifically within an energy community. The project creates new jobs in an energy community that individuals with low incomes can get and keep, and are not being created by other organizations. Again, the only difference here is the specification of energy community. The reviewers will also consider the extent to which the application provides recently published, within the last 5 years, and relevant evidence that the project is located in and/or will serve a community that has either experienced employment loss and/or economic dislocation events as a result of declines in the fossil fuel industry, and/or are disproportionately reliant on fossil fuel energy production or distribution, including coal, oil, gas, and power plant communities. The difference in the subcriterion is that employment loss must be a result of declines in the fossil fuel industry. Both the unemployment rate and the poverty rate within the project's service area are equal to or greater than the state or national level. This subcriterion is the same as in the CED Nofo. The objectives criterion is worth 4 rather than 3 points in this Nofo. Again, please note that what differentiates this criterion from the one in the CED Nofo is language indicating that the project will serve an energy community specifically. In reviewing the objectives section, reviewers will consider the extent to which the project's goals and location are aligned with the program's intent, and how the project will achieve these goals, as outlined in Section 4.2. Specifically, as noted under Section 5, Application Review Information of the Nofo, in reviewing the objectives section, reviewers will consider the extent to which the application demonstrates how the applicant will promote economic recovery in an energy community that results in the creation of good-paying jobs, spurs economic revitalization, and supports energy workers with low incomes. The reviewers will also consider the extent to which the application demonstrates that the project's goals and objectives for business development, job creation, and contribution to community revitalization align with CED efforts in the proposed energy community, and the application demonstrates that the proposed project will meet the program's objectives by successfully serving individuals with low incomes through the creation of employment and business opportunities within an energy community. Next is the project implementation section under the business plan, which is worth 15 points instead of 12. In reviewing this section, reviewers will consider the extent to which the application demonstrates a holistic project plan that provides sufficient detail regarding how the project will be implemented as outlined in Section 4.2, Content and Form of Application Submission. The key difference between this section and the EC Nofo is that applicants applying under the EC funding opportunity must show how the project will support economic recovery specifically in an energy community. Otherwise, the sub-criteria are the same. Specifically, as noted under Section 5, Application Review Information of the Nofo, in reviewing the project implementation section, reviewers will consider the extent to which the application provides a clear and well-conceived overall approach to the project with a holistic project plan that provides an overview of the nature of the project, is consistent with the expectations described in this Nofo, shows how the project will support economic recovery in an energy community, shows a high likelihood of success in creating and/or expanding participating businesses that will, in turn, create jobs for individuals with low incomes prior to the end of the project period, and includes a quarterly timeline with specific milestones, linkages to proposed project outcomes, a discussion of how those milestones will be achieved, and an analysis of any factors that might affect the schedule and proposed strategies for dealing with them. The reviewers will also consider the extent to which the application includes a sound and feasible recruitment plan and strategy to obtain and document referrals of low-income individuals for employment in at least 75% of the positions created by the project and filled during the project period. Continuing with the business plan project implementation criterion, the reviewers will also consider the extent to which the application includes signed agreements with social service providers, TANF, child support, etc., that demonstrate partnerships to obtain referrals of low-income individuals for employment, and includes the elements outlined in Section 4.2, Content and Form of Application Submission, the project description, third-party agreements. Describes how any confidential or sensitive information, such as background investigations, from staff or project participants and/or project beneficiaries, will be collected and protected during the course of the project, and how this information will be disposed of after the grant has ended, and includes a plan that demonstrates the applicant's capacity to responsibly manage the proposed federal funds and to adequately protect any federal funds awarded under the application through a financial management system. The project implementation content laid out on this slide is the same as in the CED Nofo. The last elements we will discuss are the 5 opportunities for bonus points. Each criterion is worth 3 bonus points, which differs from some of the values for bonus points in the CED Nofo. The bolded criterion, CED projects located in priority energy communities, is unique to the CED EC Nofo. The 5 bonus point criteria under this funding opportunity are: 1. Underserved areas. CED project located in priority energy communities. This criterion is unique to the CED EC Nofo. For this bonus point criterion, reviewers will consider the extent to which the application demonstrates that the proposed project will be located in and serve one of the Bureau of Labor Statistics areas that is being prioritized by the Interagency Working Group on Coal and Power Plant Communities on Economic Revitalization. These areas are listed in Section 5 of the EC Nofo. 2. Underserved areas. States or trust territories without active CED grants. This criterion is the same as in the CED Nofo, and it is worth 3 points in both places. 3. Underserved areas. CED projects supporting Native American communities. This criterion is the same as in the CED Nofo, but it is worth 3 points here instead of 2. 4. Alignment with Justice 40 Initiative. This criterion is the same in both the CED and CED EC Nofos, including the point value of 3. 5. CED projects collaborating with other current OCS grant recipients. While both the CED and CED EC Nofos offer bonus points here for collaborating with a current OCS grant recipient, the CED EC Nofo states that the proposed project may collaborate with a current OCS grant recipient or be located in an area that is currently being served by another OCS grant recipient. In this situation, the applicant must identify the OCS grant recipients and provide a plan for collaboration. This criterion is worth 3 points here instead of 2. Please note that unlike CED, the CED EC Nofo does not offer bonus points for projects aligned with the Promised Zones initiative. More information on how reviewers will evaluate bonus points can be found under Section 5, Application Review Information of the Nofo. The Nofo includes many reference websites that may be of use in putting together an application. These websites are also listed on this slide. This concludes our presentation on the 2023 CED Focus on Energy Communities Notice of Funding Opportunity.